Hi, I'm Valley Rose, and I feel like crap today. I started my period today, and I ate like a whole pint of ice cream about it. So I feel like crap. So all I really want to do right now is have a little gossip with you guys about Tyler Catastrophe. I have watched so many videos about Tyler Catastrophe now that I figured I might as well talk about it at this point. I mean, I haven't uploaded a video for a while because I wasn't really sure what I wanted to talk about, and my last video did pretty well, and I got a little nervous about uploading something else. So I do want to say thank you for all the support on that last video. That was really cool. I didn't expect that at all. If I did expect it, I would have put more effort into it, if I was being honest. And it always does seem to be the videos that I don't put any effort into that end up doing actually pretty well. So this is very low effort. I didn't like plan anything out for this. I didn't take any notes. I didn't even like do my hair or makeup because I didn't really feel like it. So I'm just we will. I'm gonna talk about Tyler Catastrophe because he's kind of captured my interest, and I haven't seen somebody be this unhinged online in a long time, and like so unabashedly unhinged. I feel like even the videos I've done, I've covered a lot of people who have like been a little bit more ashamed of the fact that they're being unhinged. But Tyler Catastrophe is so he just seems so unaware of how unhinged he's being, and yet also like hyper aware of how unhinged he's being. And it has fascinated me like no other internet drama has fascinated me. So I needed to talk about it. And I will say, I need to say two things here before we actually start. Even though I said I'm not going to be putting a whole bunch of effort into this video, three things actually I would like to bring up. For one, I got a comment on my last video saying that they didn't really like the ASMR kind of quality of my sound. And unfortunately, I hear you on that, and I'm very sorry. But unfortunately, I film at night when the people I live with are sleeping. So unfortunately, there's not too much I can do about the fact that I'm kind of whispering. The best I can really do is just bump up the audio. So if the audio needs to be bumped up in the next couple videos that I upload, please do let me know. The second thing is that usually I do try to make I try to make careful content. I try to be careful about the type of content I'm putting out into the internet sphere. Because even though I'm a very small channel, I think that, being a little bit more thoughtful about the type of videos you're putting out, or even the things you're tweeting or the things you're just saying on a Reddit forum, do matter, because people are probably going to see it. Even if it's not a lot of people, you can be the reason that thoughts are implanted in people's minds. So even though I do want to be careful about the type of content I'm putting out, I'm just shit talking in this video. So please don't take anything I'm saying here too seriously. And I'm also not trying to like allege anything. Like everything in this video I say is all opinion based, and it's just me having a little shit talk. So anyway, I forgot the third thing I was gonna say. Like I said, very low effort content from the Valley Rose channel today, so bear with me. Oh, the third thing is that I'm not going to be explaining to you too much about the Tyler Catastrophe situation, so if you don't have any context for any of it, I would suggest you maybe go watch iNapper's video, because that's where I started, and I think that was a very helpful watch for me. I didn't necessarily 100% agree with everything that he said, but he did a really good job laying out the groundwork for what we're going to be talking about. So if you need some sort of context on who Tyler Catastrophe even is, go ahead and watch iNapper's video because it's very comprehensive. So I will give you a little bit of something if you haven't seen anything about it, and just so we can lay some groundwork for what I'm going to be talking about. Tyler Catastrophe is a TikTok person who also runs his own jewelry business, and he is obsessed with Wilbur Soot. Now, when I was watching iNapper's video a few weeks ago and he said Wilbur Soot, I feel the need to tell you that in my head, Wilbur Soot and Curtis Connor was the same person. I mean, I also this is coming from me. This is not an insult to Wilburson or Curtis Connor. That's just me and my stupidity. Because this is coming from me, who thought that Michael Jordan and Michael B. Jordan were the same person for a while. I didn't know the difference between Margot Robbie and Sydney Sweeney until I watched Barbie. Like, anybody that has a similar sounding name or looks vaguely similar in my head is the exact same person. And I'm only just, like, this is just a consistent thing for me. So I just feel the need to tell you for context. I didn't know who Wilburson was until like a couple weeks ago. Like, I'd heard the name and I went, oh yeah, Wilburson, and I would picture Curtis Connor. Don't ask me why. That's how my brain works. But Tyler Catastrophe has had this like ongoing obsession with Wilburson for years, to the point that he has defended Wilburson against the allegation that he abused his ex-girlfriend. Now, as somebody who's been in a lot of fandoms of like, especially like 70s, 80s, 90s rock bands, as well as like pop punk bands, and just I've been in multiple fandoms across my life, and dealing with the fact that somebody you like is a terrible person is just kind of what we do in these fandoms. And you do just kind of have to deal with sometimes the fact that your fave is not a good person. And I think for me, my morality lies with, you can still enjoy that person and sort of enjoy the things that they put out. But for me personally, where I draw the line is I am never going to get online and say that their victim is wrong or defend them against any allegations that they may have. I just feel like that's very wrong. That's the wrong way to go about it. Because I do feel like you hit a point where it seems like a lot of famous people are just bad. And if you hate every famous person that is also a bad person, you just kind of hit the spot where you just hate most famous people, which honestly, if you do that, good for you, honestly. And I don't mean that sarcastically. If you just don't like celebrities, genuinely more power to you. I love that for you, like very genuinely. But for me, that's just not how my brain operates, and I'm a parasocial person too. Not to the point of Tyler Catastrophe, but I am also like parasocial, and I like celebrities and I like the work that they put out. But I am not going to defend them against the allegations that they may have. That can be a separate thing from my enjoyment of their work. And I really do think if Tyler Catastrophe hadn't gotten on and so and defended Wilbur to the point that he did, I think this wouldn't be blowing up half as much as it is. But Wilbur Soot was accused of biting his ex-girlfriend Shelby, or Shubble, her YouTube username, or I think she's a Twitch streamer, never mind. I don't think she's on YouTube. Maybe she is. But he defended Wilbur Soot against the allegation that he was biting his girlfriend sorry. Wilbur was accused of biting his ex-girlfriend too hard and ignoring the safe words that they had put in place so that she would not get hurt by his biting. He was also accused of like less abusive things, such as like having a bug problem in his apartment and things like that. But it was mostly the biting, and just like it seems like their relationship was just bad. So obviously the biting thing was where the abuse was coming from. He was hurting her. And Tyler Catastrophe got on and was like, biting isn't abuse, that's just a communication error. Which, like, yeah, sure, but communication errors can also turn into abuse. So I don't know what he thought he was talking about there. Whatever, we move on. Tyler Catastrophe also went on to submit through TikTok his audition to Wilbur Soot's band Lovejoy. And it was something. It was definitely, he was singing. It wasn't that great. I will say I didn't have the reaction to it that I saw some people, which was like, oh, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. Like, Tyler Catastrophe's singing is like, it's fine. Like, if I heard him like doing karaoke at a bar or something, I wouldn't be offended by it. Like, it's all right. It's just not, like, it's not auditioning for a band worthy level of vocal prowess. But I'm not saying I could do any better. Like, it sounded fine. It sounded decent. It was just very cringe. I think, I want to say Tyler Catastrophe is like 26, 27-ish. He's a very millennial cringe, I gotta say. And like, I have nothing against millennial cringe because I was also like in a lot of millennial online spaces when I was a teenager. So even though I am Gen Z, I have picked up on a lot of the millennial cringe, I have to admit. But Tyler Catastrophe is just so aggressively millennial cringe that it's like a little bit hard to watch. And like, that's fine. It's not the worst thing somebody could be. It's not the worst thing in the world to be a millennial and be cringe. It's just how he is, and I think that's part of why he's getting picked on. I will say, I don't love the fact that a lot of people seem to be sort of, because Tyler Catastrophe has admitted outright that he has a crush on Wilbur Soot. I think a lot of people take that and then go and be a little bit, even when they're not trying to be, a little transphobic and a little fatphobic towards him. I feel like nobody... I feel like that makes me sound very pretentious to say nobody wants to say that. But I do think that some of the hate he's getting is transphobic and is fatphobic because they don't like the idea of a fat person having a crush on a skinny person, and I think that that's fatphobic. Because... and I think for me, like, I am a fat girl and I am a lesbian, and I know that if I am like, men are attracted to me, unfortunately. Like it's not, it genuinely wouldn't surprise me if Wilbur Soot found Tyler Catastrophe attractive in some way. Like, maybe I'm being the friend that's too woke, but like, it genuinely wouldn't surprise me. Like, again, like, I think Wilbur Soot, he comes off as straight to me. And I will say, from my end, I'm a little confused as to why Tyler would like, kind of like fixate on having a relationship with Wilbur, because Wilbur just comes across as very straight. Like, I'm not a gay man, I don't have a gaydar, but he does give straight vibes to me. But to me, I also just don't want to assume his sexuality either. Like, the best I can do is just be like, he seems straight, and if he wasn't, I wouldn't really be all that surprised. But I do feel like some of the hate that Tyler is getting is from people just, like, not really wanting to admit that, like, people could find him attractive. Because I know a lot of people are also saying that, like, his sort of over-the-top confidence makes them uncomfortable in some way, or makes them feel very cringe. And, like, I'm not gonna say that I'm not gonna say that it isn't cringe, because it kind of is. I feel like both over-the-top confidence and over-the-top self-deprecation are just generally going to be a little bit cringe to me. But for me, when I see Tyler Catastrophe being like, I think what he said was like, oh, I can pull, like, I can get people to be attracted to me. Like, people are attracted to me, and people have had crushes on me. And, like, to me, I think of, like, D'Angelo Wallace from a few years ago. I don't think he really does this as much now, but I'm pretty sure, if I'm remembering correctly, D'Angelo Wallace was also, like, over-the-top complimentary to himself. And I do think because he is a more conventionally attractive person, a lot of people took that from him a lot better than they're taking it from Tyler Catastrophe. And I know that, yes, Tyler is very problematic. I know there was something with him, like, kind of like calling himself an indigenous person when he is not. I think he also saw something about, like, he said he was related to Edgar Allan Poe. So I thought Edgar Allan Poe was British. He is, isn't he? He's gotta be, right? So I don't know how you could be both things. Never mind, I do know how you could be both things. Never mind, that was stupid. But apparently, he isn't related to Edgar Allan Poe, and he isn't indigenous. So whatever, it doesn't matter. But there was something about him, like, saying he's indigenous, and he's not. And, of course, he was, like, defending an abuser, an alleged abuser. And yes, I do understand that these things make him a bad person. I think that Tyler Catastrophe is a generally bad person, and I do also think that the sort of vitriol that people are throwing at him for his confidence and his being like, oh, people are attracted to me, I wouldn't be surprised if Wilbur Soot was attracted to me, is just generally transphobic and fatphobic, because I also, like, I think I'm about as attractive as Tyler Catastrophe is. I think my idea of who's attractive and who is not is a little bit skewed just towards my personal bias, but like, I would also say that like, I'm about as attractive as Tyler Catastrophe is, and I've had plenty of people hit on me that I didn't really want them to be hitting on me. I rarely have women hit on me, unfortunately. It's usually men. And like, Wilbur Soot is a man, and I, like, in my experience, like, men are just attracted to everything. So like, I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. And that's not any shade at anybody. But anyway. So I did want to say that, like, even though this is me just like shit talking Tyler Catastrophe a little bit, I do want to also defend him just a little bit here and say that, like, I do feel as though some of the ways people are talking about him is generally just transphobic and fatphobic. So I wanted to just throw that out there. There was also this whole thing where he was saying he was going to like move to Brighton to be closer to Wilbur Soot, which I want to talk about the parasociality of it a little bit more. Oh, and I did watch Adam McIntyre's video on Tyler Catastrophe. Oh my god. I did watch Adam McIntyre's video on him as well. And I think I got in my head a little bit about like, oh, I don't just want to like make the same videos that the people I like are making. Like, I don't want to just like talk about the same things. But I also think that like it's the commentary space. I think that's kind of like the whole point of like me making these videos is like, I like the conversation of it. And I think if those people who are making those videos didn't want me to also talk about the same things as them, they wouldn't make those videos. So I've just decided that it doesn't matter if somebody else has already like made a video that I want to make, and it also doesn't matter if I watch their videos, because this is a conversation. I feel like that's kind of the point I've decided in my head. So sorry, that was a tangent, but you're here for the rant, right? When I watched Adam McIntyre's video, he talked about the sort of the morality of having a crush on a celebrity. And I feel like I wanted to just add to that conversation a little bit. Because Adam did talk about like having a crush on a celebrity. And not to be mean to Wilbur Soot or anything, but like also kind of, yes, to be mean to Wilbur Soot. I don't consider him a celebrity. Like, I know YouTubers, like we have like Emma Chamberlain, right? Who went from like YouTuber to like being at the red carpet events and like interviewing actual celebrities and being a celebrity in and of herself. So I'm not going to say that like YouTubers and influencers aren't celebrities, but I do think that like having a crush on Wilbur Soot is a little different than like having a crush on Ryan Gosling or something. That feels a little different to me, especially because we've had so many YouTubers now who've had scandals around like being sexual with their fans. So to me, like there is a slight more level of like accessibility to a YouTuber. And also because like if you watch one of my videos, you can like post me a comment and I'm probably gonna see it. And I know some YouTubers don't read their comment section, but like I've like gotten that little like heart from some of my favorite YouTubers before, and like I've had like short conversations with some of my favorite YouTubers before. So there is more of a level of accessibility there than like if I was to like write a letter to Scarlett Johansson or something. Like I'm more likely to get a reply from my favorite YouTuber than Scarlett Johansson. Let's just leave it there. So I do feel like the conversation around the morality of a celebrity crush and a YouTuber crush is a little bit different. And I know for Wilbur Soot, like he also is in a band as well, but like I'm trying to think of another YouTuber that makes music. all I can think of was like Corpse Husband, who also made music. There's gotta be a better example, right? I feel the need to interject here on the topic of how cringe Tyler Catastrophe is. That, okay, here's a little conspiracy theory I'm throwing out here. I feel like this was all put out to distract from how cringe Saikuno's apology was. I can't believe I brought up Corpse Husband in this too, and then I forgot that this is the thought that I had. But if you guys saw the drama that went on with Saikuno and how fucking cringe that was, I feel like this whole thing just started circulating like suspiciously soon after. Like we've had two like somewhat unserious dramas surrounding two cringe lords, like genuinely like the most cringe people I've seen in my entire life. So I feel like that's where this came from. I feel like Saikuno this is just me rambling. Saikuno, don't sue me. I feel like Saikuno paid Tyler Catastrophe to get on his TikTok and be as cringe as humanly possible just to distract from how cringe he is, so that we can't possibly think about two extraordinarily cringe people at the same time, because the dramas are just gonna get like mixed up in our heads. That's my little conspiracy theory for this one. I feel like Saikuno was behind this. Anyway, continue. But even then, like, if I'm like going I don't God, Corpse is the one that was faceless, right? Yeah, okay, so that's a bad example. But like, okay, whatever. James Marriott, that's a good one. He makes music. Yeah, sure. Okay, so like if I was going to a concert of like James Marriott, and I feel like there is a little bit more level of accessibility to him there than if I was to try to like go and talk to like Sabrina Carpenter or something, or like, yeah, I'll say that. So like, even though Wilbur Soot is in a band, so that makes him more of like a celebrity to me, I still think for me the YouTuber part of it doesn't go away. Like, I still think for me, like, if I went to a James Marriott concert in the hopes of like talking to him, that would probably be easier than going to a Sabrina Carpenter concert and trying to talk to her. I hope that's making any sort of sense as to like why I feel like the celebrity and YouTuber thing is very different in my head. I'm hoping that makes any sort of sense, hopefully. But anyway, so that's why I feel like it's different, because I do feel like Tyler Catastrophe probably has more access to Wilbur Soot there, and like a little more like hope of a response than if he just had a crush on like some other random celebrity. Like, I don't know why I have to keep coming up with specific people here. That's not necessary. Than if he just had a crush on another random celebrity. So I do feel like the conversation is a little different. I wanted to talk, because Adam McIntyre specifically talked about celebrity crushes, I think I wanted to talk about YouTuber crushes a little bit more, because to me, that is a different thing. I mean, the overall point is still the same, is that it's not okay, and Tyler Catastrophe is being too parasocial here, but either way, my point still stands. This is what I wanted to add to the conversation, mostly. Oh my god, my hair. Jesus Christ. Did it look like that through the whole video? Oh my god, there was like where I took it out of my ponytail, it was like sticking up. Oh god, okay, whatever. Hopefully you didn't see that. Whatever, that's fine. I'm not refilming all this. And this is sort of where I want to get into the shit talking of it a little bit more, because I know I said like I had something to add to the conversation. The thing I want to add to the conversation is just a bit of shit talking, because I do feel like it's objectively weirder to have a crush on a YouTuber than a celebrity. I mean, because I do understand it from a point of like, you see a YouTuber in a more like intimate setting. Like, the people I watch are usually just like in their home somewhere, whereas like I don't know what even like a part of the interior of my favorite celebrities' homes look like. Like, I don't know, and I don't care to know, but like I could probably like give you a vague idea of like what the inside of like one of my favorite YouTubers' homes look like. Not like the whole home, but like I know what like a piece of their bedroom looks like or something. Just like, you know, like the way my bed, like this isn't my bedroom here, and you know that like I have a wall of nail polish over here, I have like my curtains and my windows over here, and I've got like some fairy lights. Like that's already like a more intimate setting than like on Jimmy Fallon or something. So I feel like there is that level of like the parasociality kicks in and you're like, oh, I know this person. And while I do want to offer my sympathies to Tyler Catastrophe here, because I am also a pretty parasocial person, but I feel like my parasociality and like the idea of a YouTuber crush sort of starts and ends in a very like specific spot. Like when I was listening to Adam McIntyre talk about the celebrity crush of the whole situation and like how that relates to Tyler Catastrophe, I was thinking of like, are there any YouTubers that I've ever had a crush on? Because I've been watching YouTube since I was like 10. I think 10 or 11, I think. So I genuinely gave it some thought. And the only person I could really think of was like the booktube and drama commentary channel Alizé. And that's just in the way of like, I think she's pretty and funny, and I don't know anything about her. Because something that Tyler Catastrophe said was he was going on about like, oh, Wilbur Soot has all of the qualities that I like in a person. And for one, like, you want somebody to, like, bite you until you're, like, uncomfortable and in a lot of pain. Like, okay, whatever. I know that's, like, I know some people like that. I mean, like, I'm not even, like, it's fine. Like, I'm not trying to kink shame anybody. It's fine. But, like, do you want to be in a relationship with somebody that doesn't respect your boundaries? That's already a little bit weird. So like, if that's a quality you look for in somebody, good luck, I guess, is the best I could say. But like, I was listening to Tyler talk about, like, Tyler Catastrophe say that like Wilbur Soot has everything I like in a person, and like, what do you know about him really? Like, with like the person I mentioned, it's like, oh, I think she's like funny and I think she's very charming. But if you asked me to like tell me something you know about Alizé, I would be like, I don't know. I think she's charming and funny, and like she's a conspiracy theorist. Like, it genuinely just clicked with me a couple of weeks ago when I'm like, oh, I'm a pretty parasocial person. It clicked with me a couple weeks ago because I was watching one of her videos where she mentioned that she was going to publish a book under a pseudonym, and then she said, well, Alizé is already a pseudonym, and I was like, oh my god, her name's not actually Alizé. Like, it took me that long to get there because I had just genuinely never given it any thought. And like, I mean, Tyler Catastrophe is gonna like move to Brighton to go apparently just get out of Texas, but like, I understand wanting to get out of the US right now, but like, Canada's just like over there. Like, it's further for Tyler than it is for me. Like, I'm not that far from Canada, so like, if I need to escape, I'm going to Canada. Like, but like Brighton, like the UK, like I don't think that the UK is like that much safer for trans people than the US is right now. Though I will say I'm not a trans person and I can't speak on that, but like, I mean, I am a queer woman, and if I was going to move somewhere that is like a more queer inclusive space, I would think about maybe like Finland or New Zealand or maybe like Norway, which I don't know as much about. Finland would be my top spot, and then maybe like New Zealand or something. That seems lovely. I feel like I'd enjoy the weather there. Apparently it's like a pretty temperate climate. I think I would enjoy that. But like, it does seem a little suspicious. I don't want to accuse him of moving to Brighton specifically for Wilbur Soot, because he mentioned that like he had visited and fell in love with the city, which like I get. Whenever I visit anywhere new, whenever I visit any sort of city, I'm always just like, the scenery, it's so beautiful, I'm falling in love with the city, and then I don't give it any more thought once I leave, and I was like, and then I'd be like, oh my god, it was actually miserable, I don't know why I liked it there so much. But like, I get it, like, you fell in love with the city, that's cool. It is mighty suspicious that like his big YouTuber crush that has like plagued him for years is just like happens to be living there too. I do find that a little suspicious. But like, I do want to offer him some sympathy, and that like, I understand having a celebrity crush or having a crush on a YouTuber, because I am also somebody that like doesn't genuinely really want to be in any relationships. So I do kind of understand that, like, if you're like a one person at a time kind of person, like, you fall in love with like the concept of a relationship. I have concepts of relationships. Sorry. But like I do understand the idea of like falling in love with like the idea of a relationship. Which I think is kind of what's happened with Tyler Catastrophe. Not trying to like psychoanalyze him or anything. I'm just throwing this out there. I think it doesn't even necessarily matter that it's Wilbur Soot, because all he's really said on the matter is like he likes Wilbur's music and he likes his laugh and like all of the qualities. But like even for people I hate, I could probably name more things about them than like they have a good laugh and like qualities. Like this vague concept of just like qualities that I like about them. Like I feel like even with people I hate, I could probably like name a few qualities of them that are like specific to that person besides just all the qualities that he wants in a person. That's very vague. So I do think that Tyler's kind of just like fallen in love with the idea of being with Wilbur Soot, and that's kind of just like where his brain is stuck. And like if he doesn't want to be in another relationship and all he wants to do is think about like being with Wilbur Soot, fine, whatever. It's really not that big of a deal. And I do want to say that like I think some people are taking it to a point where they're like, oh, Wilbur Soot is like a victim of Tyler Catastrophe. And like, yes, but no. Like, is he a victim of Tyler Catastrophe's boundary crossing? Yes. But I feel like people are taking it to a point where they like really feel bad for Wilbur Soot, and like, unfortunately, sort of like the thing where like you put yourself out online and you just start getting death threats, it's very possible that you just like get somebody that falls in love with you. Like try being a woman on social media. Like you're gonna get people that just like come into your DMs and are like, hey, you looking for a sugar daddy? Which like in this economy, like it is what it is. But like I appreciate the offer anyway. But like that's just sort of like a thing that happens when you put yourself out online. And I feel like I saw a few people mention that like Wilbur Soot should get a restraining order, and like I do feel like maybe this is me taking it the wrong way, but I do feel like this sort of detracts from the abuse that Wilbur is being accused of. And like I do want to be clear, I don't know whether that's a good take or not, but that's just my take on the matter. I do feel like saying that like, oh, Tyler is being like abusive towards Wilbur here is like a little bit of an overstatement of harm. I feel like a massive overstep of boundaries is like similar to something that Wilbur could be accused of, but like I don't think like being extremely parasocial in the way that Tyler is like causing any like physical harm to Wilbur in the way that like Wilbur caused physical harm to his ex-girlfriend. So I do want to say that like I do think that like saying that Tyler is being abusive per se towards Wilbur is like a little bit of an overstatement of harm, but I also do understand that that's why people are saying it. But like I do want to say that like I do feel like this could be a good conversation for people about like sort of the dangers of getting too parasocial with your favorite YouTubers. And like I just think it's fascinating. That's pretty much all I wanted to say. I just wanted to like shit talk a little and throw my 2 cents into this conversation just for the fun of it. And like I haven't filmed in a while, so I just wanted to film. But like I do want to say I ended up not filming for a while, also because like the day after I filmed the video on the lipstick lesbians, I got very ill again, which thankfully I seem to be feeling better now. And then after, I'm just ranting now. You can click off if you're bored of me now. I'm not talking about Tyler Catastrophe anymore. We're talking about me now. But like after that, I got very ill, and then I wasn't able to sleep anymore because like if you're still here, like did anyone else like after they got the flu or whatever sickness was going around this year like not be able to sleep anymore? Because I feel like my sleep schedule got so screwed up. I was no longer able to sleep for more than like 5 hours at a time, when usually I need like 8 to 10 hours of sleep. Like, I need a lot of sleep to function. And after I got sick so many times, I was just not able to like sleep for very long anymore. I would wake up after like 6 hours and be like, that's enough sleep, and that's all I could actually get. And then I would be exhausted throughout the day. So I started taking melatonin. And then my whole world changed, and I was able to actually sleep, and I have energy in the daytime, and like I just like feel good until it's time to go to sleep, and that's been life-changing for me. I haven't felt this rested in like 20 years. Like, I don't think I felt this rested since I was a literal baby. I feel like I've just always been tired. And now my brain has been like fixed. So I do want to try to like film a little bit more, because I feel like this has genuinely fixed my entire brain. And on the topic of melatonin, if you all heard Colleen Ballinger's new song where she talks about drugging her kids with melatonin, I want to rewrite that song. I need to do that. I need to rewrite this. I need to rewrite that song so bad. I want to fix it. I need to get in there and like make it decent, because it's kind of catchy. And I kind of hate that it's catchy, but it is a little bit catchy. And I want to make it into something normal. So anyway, oh, and then after I started sleeping better, I ended up like pulling a couple muscles in my shoulder because I was trying to wash my garage door. So that's where I've been the last 3 weeks. I've been sleeping and pulling muscles and eating a ridiculous amount of ice cream. So that's where I've been. And also, like, if I didn't seem in a good mood this video, I'm genuinely fine. I'm just not in a very good mood today. But like, I'm in a better mood. I'm like sleeping, so that's helped. That's helped a lot. So so anyway, if you've stuck around this long, I really appreciate it. And also, thank you again for all the support on the last video. Like, it kind of freaked me out. But either way, thank you so much. That was really cool. I did not expect that video to do well at all, and it actually did like really well for like, it didn't do well for like generalized YouTube standards, but it did really good for like me standards. It got a little over 1,000 views, and then I had like a small panic attack about it, and now I feel fine. So whatever. Thank you for all the support on the last video. That was really cool. And if you've listened to me rant like completely unstructurally, I really appreciate that. So thank you so much, and I'll see you again in like probably about a week's time. Again, I'm not gonna make any promises, but I do have like a couple of ideas for videos that I'd like to do now. I really want to make a video rewriting Colleen Ballinger's song. I genuinely want to do that. And also, if you would be interested, I really want to make a video about Rosanna Pansino, because I feel like that's a topic that has never truly left my head. And after I make these videos, the topic can leave my head. It's actually been very helpful for me to like film videos about things that I think about all the time, because then I don't think about them as I'm trying to fall asleep and the melatonin can work. So if you've listened to me this long, I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye. I love you.